Well, hey guys. Well, welcome to part two on the Blues Junior rebuild here. Well, I got the circuit board out, kind of. You got to remove a bunch of screws. You can see these black grommets here. I don't know, there's like a half a dozen of them. So you got to take all those screws out. And the best thing to do from there is to take this out, okay? This is just your two jacks that are going out through the back, and when them are bolted in, it doesn't give you enough room to push the circuit board back enough, and it takes quite a bit of force to push that board back enough so the pot shafts will clear the lip of the chassis, and you can like pull it back out over it a little bit. So it's going to probably give me enough access. Like I said, this is what your screws are screwing into, and then they're threaded into the chassis too. But it gives it a space, in between, probably for heat reasons or heat dissipation, possibly. So the next step is to remove these caps, which I'm going to do. But the reason I really needed to get the circuit board out is I couldn't read this value of this first cap here, this big cap. And what it was I was able to twist it. The value was actually pointed down facing the board, so you couldn't read what it was. If you put stuff in, make sure you put it with the information pointing up so the next guy can read it. Just a good little tip. But I was able to spin that by hand, so if you're going to change that cap anyway and you can't read the value, it's worth a shot to try to turn it, I guess. So anyway, I got to get this. This is a 47 microfarad cap. And these ones are 22 microfarad. And these are all 450 volts, okay? So I'm going to do a little research. I've heard guys putting like 100 microfarad in the front, and it takes a little of the like buzzy noise out. There's a lot of different things you can do with this. But in any case, I'm going to do a little research first and see what it's kind of recommended. This is a 1998 Blues Junior I wanted to add, so this is like one of the earlier versions from what I've gathered on the internet. So anyway, I may end up taking this completely out. Your tube sockets are in the back here, okay? And these little umbilicals go to the circuit board. And this circuit board in the back that houses the tube sockets, they're just bolted to the back of the chassis. So, there's 2, 4, 6, 8, maybe 10 bolts that holds that whole board to the chassis. I want to get that out and look the solder joints over. These are known and prone to having cold joints. And that's not good. So, what it is this would actually be flipped up in the amplifier, and your control panel is on the top. So the tubes are hanging down, and all that heat is being transferred up through. And that's not good with a circuit board. And I'm kind of skeptical about the tube socket, really. I mean, it works, I guess, and there is a space in between that board too. So I'm guessing they do that for thermal reasons as well. So like I said, make sure you take this out first. And there's just 2 knots on the jacks, and you can move that out of the way. Then you're able to push the board back. It's still pretty tight. These wires that go over to the other transformer here are pretty tight, so that's what you're kind of fighting. So you got to kind of push those down and push at the same time. It was a little tricky, but it's doable. Another reason why circuit board amps are not popular with repair guys. It's a bear to work on most of the time. Everything's so compact and it's hard to move, but it is what it is. We're gonna fix it anyway, and that's just how it is nowadays. Most of the amps you buy are mass produced on a circuit board. It's easy, it's quick. They're almost like a disposable thing, though, kind of like when they go, what do? You're gonna buy a new circuit board or just buy another amp, right? But they're getting pricier now, and a transformer's not a big deal. They're nice amps, so it's worth fixing. Hopefully we can put a new transformer and recap this, and hopefully it fares well. It kept blowing fuses. That's another thing I've seen a lot of chatter about on the internet. Seems to be pretty popular. All in all, there's not even a threaded shaft on any of the pots. They just poke out through the hole, and when you can jiggle them, they actually move. When the circuit board's bolted down tight, it's tough. I mean, to change, if you get a bad pot, you have to do this. You have to get at least to this stage to get everything unhooked and unsoldered. Really tough to work on. In any case, that's just how it goes. Like I said, it's the trend nowadays, so we just deal with it. Okay, guys, well, I'm going to get these caps ordered. That was my biggest reason, like I said, to pull this out. We want to get these removed, and it's not too tough. You just find the solder point on the back side. Take a piece of wood or a bamboo skewer or a little drink stirrer, whatever you want to do. I don't use a screwdriver or anything because I don't want to damage the board, but just pry up on it as you heat the thing up, and you'll just feel it pop up through. They usually come out pretty easy. You could also grab onto the wire itself with a pair of pliers and just put some heat on the back side and keep a little pressure on it. Make sure you get it good and hot, though, because you don't want to pull any of the trace out or anything. So, just be careful. Take your time doing it. If you're not comfortable doing it, take it somewhere. I've already drained these off with my little rig I made to drain capacitors. It's just a piece of wire with a small resistor in between them. And I got some wooden bamboo skewers I use for the handles, and some little probes soldered onto the wires so I can just touch the wires and ground them off like that. And that's how I usually drain them. You don't ever want to second guess it. You want to do it twice if that makes you feel good. And I do that sometimes. I do it on both sides. Whatever it takes. I don't want to get lifted. That's a lot of voltage. So if you ever attempt anything like that, make sure you drain them. Okay, guys. Well, I'm gonna get stuff ordered up, and maybe later on tonight I'll remove these caps, and I'm gonna draw it out so I know the orientation. I'll take a few pictures, but I'm also gonna draw it on a piece of paper, because pictures do get deleted sometimes, and we just want to make sure we get everything back in the order it goes in. Alright, guys, well, thanks for watching. I hope you're all doing really good. We got some cool videos coming up here soon. I gotta finish a few more repairs and hopefully get back to playing some guitar again. Alright, guys, be good. We'll see you soon.